it should be expected because we had female creators like Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrie basically voicing their concerns beforehand, talking about how protections at TwitchCon are inadequate and they don't feel safe. And they kind of got dragged for that. I'm just going to play a little short clip that I found of them talking about that. I remember they independently spoke about this on Wine About It and their individual like channels and or streams pretty extensively.
I'm kind of afraid to go to TwitchCon.
We're in a bit of a conundrum with TwitchCon.
I've been so anxious and scared and sad this whole past week with everything that's been going on.
Listen, it's not. I have.
Pretty sure that that's in reference to Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
It's not you, it's us.
It's not you, it's us. We're supposed to do Wine About It live at TwitchCon. Love Twitch for supporting our show. I have given them a soft, hey, we're in a bit of a panic mode right now.
Will we ever stop panicking?
That's the problem. I don't know if we're being
because
I don't feel, the problem is right now, respectfully, I don't feel irrational about it.
Clearly they weren't irrational. I remember when they were talking about that, a lot of people tried to talk about them like they were being irrational.
I feel very...
I think it's valid.
Scared.
Yeah, it just takes one person.
There was a Japanese streamer a few months ago that got on her live stream by a stalker. When that happened, I almost pulled out of all my obligations. I was like, I don't think it's for me. And then, you know, I got kind of talked off the ledge. Like, there's going to be lots of security or whatever. Horrible things have happened this week, and...
Yeah, I mean, it kind of gets swept under the rug, but female content creators get fucking stalked and assaulted just all the time in real life. Not to mention, they essentially all have 4,000 internet stalkers. It's just wild, and these fears not only were definitely validated, but the response from Twitch, we'll get into in a minute, is been... This part I couldn't expect, that it would be so absolutely absurdly laughable. Like, the response from Twitch as an organization, I actually, it kind of makes me mad how ridiculously poor it's been. Almost like they don't really care about their female content creators. The response is wildly poor. They seem to almost treat their female content creators like objects. Yeah.
There was also security, and I don't know.
Security and an armor not going to protect you. It's just scary. We will keep you guys updated, but if we don't, we'll make it up to you.
I'll take my top off.
Me too!
Then I got some, then Emiru has I think you should watch the whole thing if you really want to know. I've got like 3 little time-stamped areas that I just want Emiru to say about the situation herself. I'm not gonna play like the clip itself. Just to summarize, someone just kind of like seemingly cut through the line, walked straight up to her at a meet and greet, grabbed her, and seemingly pulled her into like a hug and tried to kiss her. And at least that's kind of what it looks like. And the only thing that seemingly stopped that is that Emiru had a private security guard. The first thing, after listening to Emiru talk about it, that I think is absolutely wild is, I mean, I'll just play. This is about 30 seconds here.
I've seen clips, people bringing up clips of me talking about how my previous favorite security guard was permabanned from TwitchCon because at a previous TwitchCon 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, there was a stalker and he held him by the arm until police got there. And because of that, he was indefinitely banned from TwitchCon. Like, from all of TwitchCon, not just the venue, because that was in Las Vegas.
Her security guard was indefinitely banned for protecting her. That blows my mind to a level that I just can't even understand. It gets worse, though, because when you add in this next clip, or this next portion of it,
the platform for 30 days. What?
Yeah, what? Her security guard was indefinitely banned for protecting her. But their response to someone assaulting her was to ban them digitally for 30 days. What? That is totally unfucking real. That's just inexcusably stupid.
And then she's obviously like, hello? Like, that needs to be indefinite. What the fuck are you talking about? Also, that's like nothing to do with anything. No one gives a fuck if he's banned on Twitch or not. Like, we're talking about the convention here. So they change it to indefinite. Takes an hour for that to happen.
Still doesn't matter, as Emiru pointed out. It's digital. Them being digitally banned doesn't do shit.
Happen, by the way. These two people are the head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch.
You're doing a great job, head of risk for Twitch. It really seems like you're reducing risk for Twitch. If there was anyone that needs to lose their job over a situation, it's probably whoever is the head of risk for Twitch. By thinking that is the appropriate risk reduction maneuver, is to ban someone for doing assault digitally. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. Okay, but I don't want to play the whole thing because seriously, if you want to know the full context, I think you should just watch Emiru's video. This is mostly about my reaction to very specific things that I think are absurd. This is the longest portion I'll play. This is about 1:30, but this is Emiru reading Twitch's statement and reacting to it, which I also just could not believe how just like Twitch is woefully incompetent, or they just don't care. Like they actually just want people to kill their female content creators or something.
Alright, let me read this. The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply unsettling. In line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement event security were on site. That's a lie. That's literally a lie. And responded to the incident. We immediately...
Yeah, I am reacting to it, mostly because it actually does... this one kind of made me mad. The Twitch is straight up just not doing a good job here. I don't even think they were worried about protecting the company. If you weren't here just like 30 seconds ago, the head of risk for Twitch thought the risk reduction move was to ban the assaulter for 30 days from Twitch.tv. That was the only move they thought was necessary to reduce risk towards the platform. That's head injury, stupid.
Block this individual from returning to the TwitchCon premises, and they're banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. Okay, like, no one cares about online. We are coordinating with the impacted creators team, that's true, and per our standard protocols, continue to cooperate with any law enforcement investigations. We've increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point, and we'll have additional security personnel surrounding participating streamers.
Oh, the fact that Emiru also had to call them out for lying about having law enforcement on site, like, it seemed, like I said, Valkyrie and Cutie Cinderella were crying wolf about this like a month or more ahead of time. Yeah, I mean, if Twitch insists everything is fine, they think it saves face with investors. I mean, yeah, I guess, but to be honest, I don't think you need to save face with investors in a situation like this. You need to assure your talent that they will not be assaulted and or murdered at your events, and that you give a single shit. Because Twitch is not a platform without people. It's just not. There's nothing to invest in if there's not people making content. And I don't know I don't pay attention to this shit, but I would guess that Emiru is probably like at least top 10 female content creators on this platform. It would be wild to me if she's not top 10. She just seems like I don't even watch her, and I see her face everywhere just tangentially. Like I don't even know what her streams are. I assume it's gaming, because most stuff on here is gaming. But yeah, I don't know. Or I don't know, she's dressed up as a character. Maybe she does cosplay. I know that she's dressed up as what the Has-Been Hotel person, I think. Right?
I guess she is.
I think I recognize that, yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe like I said, I don't actually know Emiru's content. I just know she's big, because even though I don't know her, she pops up everywhere. So it's crazy that someone this large... Well, maybe that was true years ago, but, like, there is actually a lot of, like, competition. YouTube streaming is great. I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now. Kick also exists. I know Kick is a little skeezy, but, like, Kick exists. So, I don't even think it's that Twitch doesn't have competitors. I think it's that Twitch is just often mismanaged in really weird ways. And, that's especially true with just, like, persistent ingrained sexism in society, to be honest. Like, it's just more normal, I guess, for women to be victims of, like, these types of transgressions. And it's just like, I don't know. How dare you be a female online, I guess. They do have, I mean, I guess prospectively it is few, but that's kind of everything under like the tendency towards monopoly under our capitalistic system. Is it's remarkable there's not literally just one. Maybe. I mean, I could have agreed a few years ago, but we get YouTube live streamers with like 100,000 concurrent viewers now. It used to be that, like, yeah, Twitch absolutely mogged YouTube on total concurrent streamers. And I think probably, like, at least for English-speaking streamers, Twitch still has the biggest big stars, but YouTube's not the smallest fish in the live streaming game anymore. It is, I think, rather comparable, if not bigger than Kick, in its ability to draw concurrent viewership. And while Kick is skeezy, I don't know, Kick seems to be pretty consistently growing, and I'd say Kick is going to be a more serious competitor in just like 5 years. In like under 5 years, I think Kick is going to be, if it's still around anyways, Kick is going to be a more serious competitor. I think one of the only things kind of holding Kick back is their incredible issue with like bots is pretty like known by everyone, and then because they're trying to be the edgy platform, they're slow to respond to bad actors on their platform. But you know what? That's a growing pain that all these live streaming services and or video hosting services have gone through. YouTube used to have way more questionable content on it. And way more open out and about bad actors. Yeah, I don't know if it's really like a... I mean, I'd agree with like policy. Like, I don't think you're gonna suddenly see top creators like, you know, striking better contract deals or anything unless something like that happens. But I think the pure public backlash of how poorly this shows that they make movements to protect their female content creators, and how consistently and for how long female content creators on this platform have been mistreated, and it's kind of ridiculous. Like, I mean, half the terms of service rules at this point are essentially targeting and punishing female content creators. Part of that is because they wanted to get risque content off the platform, but it's like, guys get away with a different kind of risque content on the platform that is just for some reason, you know, more okay. And that stuff probably wouldn't change, but I think this alone has to change something for at least their live events and how seriously they take the physical safety of attendees. Because they were being questioned to the lead up by the public and large female content creators like Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrae, who straight up said they weren't going to go to the event due to safety concerns. And then they were just straight vindicated. They were just straight vindicated as being correct because this happened to Emiru. And then their response post the incident has also been abysmal. So there was concerns prior, then it happened when everyone was saying something like this was more likely to happen, and then their response when the thing that was likely to happen did happen, they're just like, oh, we're gonna ban him from the platform. That'll show him. He won't be able to assault anyone in real life if he's banned in the Matrix. Something just like stupid like that. I don't like, I mean, I don't have a Twitter, so I'm like not following Twitch's socials or whatever. That's mostly why I was interested to hear Emiru's response to their like socials post. But I have to imagine, because like the amount of people attacking Twitch at this point for what's going on has been wild. Like, it's been wild how in this situation, well, not wild. It should happen. It should happen. It's not wild. It's not unbelievable. I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad people are actually fucking like standing up for how ridiculous this is. It's more just, I'll say it's refreshing actually to see that people are mad. And this isn't like the first time. Like Emiru said earlier in the video, she had a stalker detained by her security at a prior Twitchcon, and they banned her security guard for detaining that stalker. I never heard about that when that happened. I didn't see that getting blown up everywhere as as part of the media cycle or the attention span cycle of the internet. So clearly, like, this stuff does happen fairly consistently. And, like, if you look for it, you're going to find it. But if you're just kind of on the periphery, like I am, you don't hear about a lot of this stuff unless it gets really big. And it would probably, like, if you went searching for it, you'd probably get activated and, like, angry about it because it's ridiculous. But like, most people aren't going to search out. Like, I wasn't searching it out. I didn't know about these events that had happened at previous TwitchCons, but this one is, like, large enough and cycling around in a large enough like, media space that I think it's pulling in more, like, normies like me who aren't really into the know on what's going on at Twitch events and stuff. And I think that's a lot of extra bad publicity. I do think people were more receptive and more activated, too, for this, because people like Valkyrae and Cutie Cinderella were bringing up the conversation, like, I feel like a couple months prior. Everyone already kind of had their eyes and ears open to something like this going on because of the general atmosphere of public figures. So I can hope that Twitch has to, due to just public bad publicity, has to capitulate to public demand in some capacity and start taking security more seriously. I get that folks are mad at Twitch, and rightfully so. I just don't know how realistic that anger turns into address this, honestly. Well, that's fair, because they're also so incompetent, we're seeing, that, and out of touch, either incompetent, out of touch, or both, that even if people are mad, and even if this is, like, kind of a more mainstream attention thing in general, I think you're right that maybe they don't address the situation properly and properly address individuals' anger with lack of protection towards content creators and lack of consequences for transgressors against content creators because they're stupid. So it could be that that they feel the shame and that they feel the need to make change, and then the change is just bad. The change is just out of touch. It misses the mark. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I would not be surprised by that. But yeah, like, clearly they don't have any good ideas because, like,
note that we're unable to accommodate +1s for the remainder of the event. You know why they said that? They only thought about that because of Melissa, my manager. She said, "Were you vetting people coming through the line?" They said, "Oh yeah, everyone had to sign up, and they get background checks, but they're allowed to bring a +1." Well, are their +1s background checked? No. Melissa was like, "Okay, guys. Twitch has a zero tolerance for harassment or acts that inhibit the safety and security of our community." Yeah.
That last 30 seconds was really it. Like, they're so stupid that they went through the effort of background checking attendees at a meet and greet, but then allowed those people to bring +1s. With those +1s being any random person. And they didn't even think about how that was a bad idea until after an assault happened, and Emiru's manager brought it up to them directly of being like, "Hey, are you gonna stop doing that?" That it's just wild. Like that clearly they probably don't care. I think you're probably right that they truthfully don't care, and it's only a problem until it's bad publicity or costing them money. And it wasn't costing them money or bad publicity till very recently. Those are really the only clips from Emiru's reaction that I wanted to play. I will look at some other people's reactions. Just the React King himself, Moist Critical. I actually haven't watched this one, but I kind of wanted
There's
to...
There's a lot I want to talk about here after seeing what happened at TwitchCon last night with Emiru being assaulted by a rogue lunatic fan who just walked completely unimpeded past the line at her meet and greet and unconsensually hugged her and looked like tried to kiss her, which is textbook assault. And it's very scary that it was able to happen so easily here.
Yeah. Especially since concerns about security were being raised months prior, and you had major creators dropping out. And you still couldn't get this shit right. It's crazy.
He was shoved off by a security guard, but then he just walked away.
But as we know, he was only shoved off by Emiru's private security guard. Not a Twitch security personnel. Emiru's security guard. I don't actually want to play the clip for it. I don't think we really need to perpetuate showing things like that.
Entire security presence here for the Emiru meet and greet. One person. One security.
Yeah, and that one person was her security guard. You had people raising concerns about security, and Emiru even said it was a lie in their public statement that they had law enforcement on scene. Emiru confirmed that was untrue. The only security there was her personal security guard.
I have seen a stronger security presence at my dilapidated local Winn-Dixie. This is fucking crazy. One guy. And also worth mentioning, it's not Emiru's preferred bodyguard from what I understand.
Oh, he brings that up.
Security guard 2 years ago where there was a guy following me around TwitchCon and he asked him to stop multiple times. My guard asked him and the guy wouldn't stop, so he grabbed the guy, but he didn't hurt him. He was just holding the guy until the con security came. And then for some reason they're yeah, because your security guard touched him, he's permabanned from the venue forever. But he didn't even hit him or anything. He just held him while they waited for the police to come. And,
what the fuck?
And it was my favorite security.
Wait, so she talked about how her security guard before the incident was banned too? Well, like I said, I didn't hear about this incident when it happened apparently 2 years ago. So, yeah, I guess really the problem is that these don't get swept up in the media storm super quickly.
Guard, I can't have him at TwitchCon anymore.
Now, as I was rendering this video, Emiru posted an update to everything to shed light on everything that happened. And this bodyguard you see push that guy is someone she hired. It's not her first.
Okay, so so we're okay. We're covering the same points so far.
First round draft pick or anything. It is not a preferred bodyguard, but it's who she was allowed to bring. And she was surrounded is the word I'm using, very loosey-goosey. There was a couple of other Twitch provided Fiverr security drones elsewhere that just didn't react at all. The only one who did something was the one she hired. We're going to be going through a statement quite a
I guess they were just off camera
bit here, but she's giving an update to let people know that she's okay and thankful for the outpouring of support.
I didn't see this because I don't have a Twitter and I'm not getting a Twitter. I have a Blue Sky. I think it's in my YouTube's description. I keep forgetting I use it. I am not a social media user. maybe if people followed me there, I would be, but I'm not a social media user. Every now and then, I make a deranged, angry political post, and that's about it.
The guy had crossed multiple barriers, even in front of other creators, to grab and try and kiss her, which he was unsuccessful at doing, thanks to being pushed off. She then says that she doesn't understand how he was allowed to get that far in the first place, and that the security that does react is her own, confirming that it's not her usual security guard since he was banned. She then says that there were 3 to 4 other TwitchCon security
Okay, I think we pretty
security
much
guard and then a couple
that.
of event staff that you can see in the clip. Turns out it's one security guard she brought, and then no event staff. It's just her manager and her friend. So where the fuck is TwitchCon security? Or
Oh yeah, so they weren't even off camera. They didn't exist. They didn't exist. They weren't even off camera. They just weren't real. Yeah. Which I guess we knew because Emiru confirmed that. I mean, security doesn't have to be law enforcement, but Emiru had confirmed that there was no law enforcement there.
or staff at all here. They just let this guy walk up to her and did nothing, and even just let him get away after assaulting her too. Again, I still cannot even believe they banned the security guard that she wanted to bring.
I actually can't either. I can't believe that either. That is still wild to me. Okay, YouTube is a social media platform, but you know what? You know what? Okay, checkmate. Okay, you got me. You got me. I use video-based social media. I just can't be damned to log in and type like my angry little, like the only thing that drives me to pull out my phone and do my little angry typing, the only thing is just pure pent-up rage. Anyway, yeah.
Had brought in the past that did successfully prevent a potential threat from harming her. It's so fucked up, and I truly can't understand the thought process behind their...
No, I completely agree. I mean, I was saying that before, too. That part, I think, is the detail that drives me the most insane when I heard it, is that they not only did not actually adequately protect her or anyone else, or provide really any security despite being called out for it ahead of time, they straight up intervened to make it harder for them to provide their own security. Ugh.
Decision to ban him in the first place. He did his job properly. He held the potential threat until authorities arrived. What else are you supposed to do? That's like the number one thing. You're supposed to stop the threat. And that sounds like exactly what he did here. I think maybe Twitch was concerned that he used excessive force or something because he grabbed him. What? Like, what?
I'm almost positive you're allowed, like, I don't know, maybe that's made up shit, and I know it's like the cringe citizen's arrest. I'm almost positive you're allowed to detain people for doing crimes until, like, someone comes. It's maybe not advisable because you could get hurt, but if you're a hired professional security person, what are you even there for, if not to be able to detain people? Are you just there to, I don't know, like, heroically jump in front of gunfire to save your client? That's not happening. That's not real. That's not what security people do.
What do they think? He put him into a headlock and then hit him with an atomic power bomb into a fucking tombstone pile driver and then a Frankensteiner on the way out? Like, what do they think happened there? Now, I've read mixed things on who's responsible for that bodyguard being banned, whether it was Twitch or the venue TwitchCon is held at. But regardless of who's responsible for the ban, the fact that he is forbidden from being there because of being good at his job is just unacceptable.
Yeah, it's extra unacceptable. Like, I don't even think that's a distinction that matters. Like, whether it was, you know, the venue or Twitch. Twitch is ultimately responsible for provision of security. And if they offshore it to a third party, Well, that third party still needs to be double checked by Twitch.
This guy walks past this and
so, like, I don't even know if that's, like, a distinct... So, is it Twitch security that banned the guard last year, or venue security, assuming the con is taking place in the same space and isn't owned by Amazon? Yeah, I don't, like... It would be interesting to know, because if it was the same venue, or if it was the venue who banned the person, why did Twitch decide to do business with them a second time after showing that they're unreliable? And if it's Twitch, why did they respond in that way? And why is that a persistent policy they have? Why even let anyone bring security, honestly, at that point, if security is not allowed to do anything?
entire line. Literally just fucking fee-fi-fo-fums through the whole line here at the meet and greet and assaults Emiru.
I will say, yeah, the video, if you see it, this person did not, like, run up to Emiru on stage. He's like... I'm coming for you. About to do a little assault. Real slow now. Just cut ahead of the line. And assault time. It's like it literally happened in slow motion. It's crazy.
Nobody stopped him when he was cutting through the line, and it wasn't until he had already assaulted Emiru that he got pushed off. And then he didn't even get stopped or anything by additional security, because there was only that one guy that was there. As like
he didn't get detained. So, like, I guess the security guard knew he couldn't detain him, or maybe didn't think to in the span of the moment. Thought it was more important to just, like, get between him and Emiru. But yeah, because there was no Twitch security there, they really couldn't have done anything. But, like, also we know they wouldn't have, even if they were there. They would have just, like, gone...
bodyguard. Like, I don't know, I would just kind of expect after a fucking assault just unfolded here, there would be a big response from the Twitchcon security personnel. Like, coming over here throwing, like, a spike strip down, or, like, at least throwing a banana peel down so he slips and falls on it so they can apprehend him. But I didn't see any of that happen. Nothing at all. Just fucking crickets. Just tumbleweed rolling through here.
Yeah?
Like, he just walked away. Apparently he did get ID'd, like, after this happened later, because Twitch made a statement, which we'll go through in a minute, and it sounds like they ID'd the guy and everything. But this is a complete failure on Twitch's shoulder.
I mean, okay, but, like, what if he had said no? Because from the pieces we've gotten together so far, like, they're so limp-wristed in their response to situations like that here and previously. Like, even that bare minimum of IDing the guy who did the crime seems like he probably could have just been like, no, I'm not giving you the ID. And then just, they would have been like, what do we do? He's not complying. I guess he just gets away. It's so stupid.
Here for their event. They banned her preferred bodyguard, whom has previously demonstrated the ability to stop something like this from happening, and instead supplied non-existent TwitchCon security around her meet and greet, and forced her to hire a different bodyguard, one that wasn't nearly as efficient as the one that she typically uses.
I think it is a totally... So I saw like Ludwig's also said he's probably not going to go to future North America cons, like Twitch cons. And I also saw, like I said, Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrie had dropped out of it beforehand too. So, I mean, there's probably just no one that's going to go to these anymore if they can't convince their creators that they're being protected in a meaningful capacity. I think that's already underway, and I can't blame them. It seems like when something bad does happen, nothing happens in response, and you can't even, if you have the money and means to do it yourself, can't even preemptively create a situation to protect yourself, or you will be punished.
And wanted to have present here to protect her. And just stew on this for a moment, because when you break it down, TwitchCon security literally did nothing.
Yeah, they literally
did
did
not
nothing.
stop the guy before he assaulted Emiru. Again, it could have even been a murder or something if he had like a weapon or something. He was not stopped despite.
Oh yeah, yeah. If dude had a knife, Emiru would be dead. Like that. This would be an even more absurd like conversation. It would have been like the situation Valkyrie and Cutie Cinderella specifically was mentioning as one of the first things that made her want to pull out of public events was the Japanese streamer getting stabbed to death live on stream. So, like, yeah, this could have been way worse, and the only thing that stopped it from being way worse is just that the guy was, instead of being a killer, just a creep.
Opportunity for them to intervene. Not only did they not stop him, after it happened, they didn't even pursue him. The only one who acted at all, that one security guard, was not a TwitchCon security guard. It was someone Emiru hired, a bodyguard she hired. That was the only person that acted at all. And the only people that checked on Emiru were her team. No one on the TwitchCon event side of things, apparently, according to Emiru. So that means, at TwitchCon, the security didn't do anything at all, nor did the event staff do anything to even check on her after this happened. Holy shit. That is inexcusable.
How much does Twitch care about keeping TwitchCon going? I know in the case of BlizzCon, it always cost the company millions to throw. They never made profit for... You know what? That's fair. Maybe... I didn't think about that. Maybe Twitch truly just doesn't give a shit. Like, the reason the effort is so poorly provided is that they actually don't care. I didn't think about that angle. That's a good angle, Logan. That's a good angle to bring up, actually. Yeah, maybe they just don't care. Like, the reason they put no effort into protection and the reason they actively get in the way is because, like, oh, what do we care? This doesn't make us money. This is just a fan thing for creators. Yeah, because it's not a growth thing. They're not growing their consumer base from it, because it's only people that are already big fans of the content creators that are going to show up to these things. Maybe some people that use the platform that are maybe going to try and network. So it could be some portion just mega fans and some portion people trying to network at these cons. But, like, yeah, you're right. Does Twitch even care? Like, what's their incentive other than publicity? And especially as it seems it's not good publicity, why would they even keep going? So, like, you mentioning that, I could see them just not doing TwitchCon in the future. I would be really interested to see if TwitchCon nets them money in any capacity. But let's be real, if TwitchCon's only true function is as a fan meetup, YouTubers and Twitch streamers can just organize their own fan meetups and events. I'd imagine, anyway. I'm speaking out of my ass when I say that, because I have not organized an event. I do not know how difficult or how feasible that is. Perhaps having a centralized, like, organization setting it up for you, even for all its flaws, is much easier. It would almost certainly be easier for smaller creators, because it is definitely very limited how many creators can afford to set up a fan meetup event. So it would probably hurt Twitch not at all, and if anything, hit small and mid-sized creators who can't afford to set up meets of their own, but want to use the centralized venue of TwitchCon to be able to interact and communicate with fans. So it'd suck for those people, but probably not Twitch at all if there was just no more TwitchCon. They probably would just save money. And at this point, save publicity. So, I think that's a super valid point, Logan. I think, yeah, do they care? Do they even care about continuing TwitchCon? It probably does just cost them money and not bring them anything, them personally anything. It probably is only beneficial for networking and or community cultivation for small and mid-sized creators.
Usable. I've talked about events and stuff in the past. I've never been to TwitchCon. I have no plans of ever going to TwitchCon or anything even remotely similar to it. And I've always expressed, A, I don't think I'd have fun, and B, I'm always worried about events like that, like legitimate safety concerns. Ever since the Christina Grimmie tragedy, where she was murdered at a meet and greet, I just had...
See, again, I don't know about this one. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think in of itself that this is more in like a more in a buzz circle is already, I hope, gonna provoke some kind of change, because I didn't know there was even someone murdered at a meet. Like, I didn't hear about this.
I have a huge hesitation with this kind of thing, because you never really know who's there and what security looks like. I know prior to TwitchCon, apparently there was a big emphasis on Twitch's side of beefing up their security. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I heard them say that again in response to people like Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrie talking about how they had security concerns, and I do remember seeing statements saying that they were taking security extra serious. I mean, from the response, what did they hire 2 guys instead of 1? Is that what their extra serious response was? Did they hire 2 guys instead of 1?
At all. The proof is not in the pudding here from what I'm seeing. It's extremely concerning that this creep was able to just walk up slowly, mind you. It's not like he like charged the stage or something, you know, with a fucking 4-second 40 where they couldn't respond in time. He slowly, calmly walked past everyone. Security, event staff, no one stopped him at all. Like, shit, I got stopped more often trying to go to a lacrosse party in college. Like, they were more vigilant about stopping people from getting into a fucking party, let alone, like, the actual safety of the guests here at this event. It is just crazy to me because this guy could have had a weapon. He absolutely could have had a weapon. Like, it is just dangerous. It is...
That's very true, too. Folks who try and have parasocial relationships with large content creators are not mentally well. I know maybe it seems extra bad in the age of online, and I can't necessarily relate, because while I am a fan of content creators, I in no way envision that relationship as anything other than consumer creator. It is, oh, I like that this person makes things because the things they make are good. I consume the good thing they make. I hope they keep making good things. The only, like, I can't even get in the headspace, because I've also, like, even going into, like, normal traditional celebrities, I have never ever like understood a connection with caring about what traditional celebrities do. The only capacity that I even seem to care, or like that I can bring myself to care about what large content creators are doing, is if they are adversely affecting people or positively affecting people, and then at the very least I could just be like, oh, cool, you're doing a good job, or boo, you're doing a bad job, maybe stop doing it. And that is only something that even momentarily occurs to me as like, well, I just don't want people to do bad things, and I want people that do good things to do more good things. But I am also not like, I am not making like, I'm not making emotional connections to content creators based on the things they do. It just, I can't get it. The same thing with, like, I know a lot of these people that are obsessed and have weird, violent parasocial relationships with female content creators are doing it because they're just, like, weird, deranged gooners. That I can't relate to. Like, exactly, you're consuming their production, not thinking about how many subs it's going to take for them to acknowledge your existence. Yeah, to be honest, would hope that most people that I react to never acknowledged my existence unless it was in some kind of positive, like, shout-out way. I don't know, like, again, I don't know these people. I don't know that I would even want to know these people. I don't know anything about them as human beings, and I am not making assumptions on these people based on the content I consume. I watch Charlie's videos occasionally. I'm not, as you can see, I'm not even subscribed. He just pops up and I watch him occasionally. I don't know one thing about the guy, except memes that might pop up on the internet. I think he's short. Maybe. I think he lives in Florida. I think that's the limit of my knowledge about this person. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the limit of my knowledge about this person. Yeah, it is not some weird thing. It is a consumer relationship. And, you know, I don't even know in some weird theoretical that I would ever even want it to be more. And if like, in some, you know, scenario, it like a connection like that did form normally, it would, like, you'd want it to be normal, not because you're like, I'm e-stalking you, and I'm trying to manufacture a friendship because I'm the biggest fan. I will find you, internet creator. It's just weird. It's weird.
Dangerous, and it's a complete failure on Twitch's part here. Now, like I said, they did make a statement about this. The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident...
Oh yeah, and this is this is what Emiru read. We kind of went through that. Let's just cut through that to, yep.
Salt here, mentioning that he's been banned on Twitch and from the events. It sounds like there's also going to be additional follow-ups, I believe. That's how it read to me. Now, as a result of the assault that Emiru experienced at their event, they are going to be having a stronger security presence at further meet and greets that are scheduled. The question begs to be asked, why wasn't that an emphasis beforehand? You're saying that...
That is what I was saying too, and is why I even played the Valkyrie and Cutie Cinderella clip to start this off, is why was there not better security beforehand? You were being called out, and you claimed that there was going to be better security. And it just, like, I mean, I guess we can't know how bad it would have been otherwise. We can't know. We can't know how shitty it would have been otherwise.
Safety was, like, your top priority, yet it's very clear, very evident in this clip that there's not a lot of security there. So what are you doing about, like, safety? Like, well, I don't understand. If safety's such a high priority, where's security? Why, I don't know why it's so lackluster then if it's such a high priority. And again, this is like a huge streamer. Emiru is like one of the biggest streamers. What does security look like for streamers that aren't her size? I genuinely have no idea. It's a legitimate question I'm asking because, again, Emiru is like one of the biggest streamers, and TwitchCon didn't have like any adequate security presence at her meet and greet. What does it look like for a smaller streamer doing a meet and greet? Did they provide anything at all to them? And also, what they do...
That's kind of what I was saying earlier, is like, this is probably mostly a loss for smaller content creators, but also, yeah, it's also probably way more terrifying for smaller content creators that can't bring their own security.
Provide is basically anyway, nothing. The security didn't act at all here. So now let's go back to Emiru's statement, because she says something very interesting here about Twitch's statement. In Twitch's statement, they said that the guy was immediately caught and detained. Sorry, but that is a blatant lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me, and it felt like this only happened because of my manager pressing for it, not because TwitchCon staff present thought it was...
Yeah, that was also, we heard Emiru say that with her own words.
...a big deal. She mentions there's more she wants to talk about on it, but will save it for stream. She then goes on to thank people for the support and confirms that this will be her last TwitchCon, which I think is completely understandable.
Yeah, more than understandable. I don't think, like, seriously, given this situation, I think no female creator should ever show up to these things again. And I think, I would say, any large male creators should, in solidarity, also not go to these. Like, this is just... Ugh.
I think other creators should seriously consider not attending in the future. I did not feel cared for or protected, even bringing my own security and staff. I can't imagine how creators without those options would feel. So according to Emiru's statement here, she believes that the guy wasn't like immediately caught and ID'd by TwitchCon staff or anything like that. And in fact, it wasn't until her manager pressed them for action that they did anything at all. That's unhinged. They didn't want to, you know, jump into action after a fucking assault just took place. I just don't get it. That's completely unhinged. It almost feels like maybe they're more angry about Emiru's bodyguard there shoving the guy. Like maybe they're thinking about banning him from Twitch events in the future or something. Like it doesn't seem like their priority is safety. If they were going to just let this guy walk away until Emiru's manager had to force their hand to do something, this is just not a safe environment. And this isn't a new criticism of TwitchCon. This has been consistently something that people have spoken out about for years with TwitchCon. Like, I'm sure a lot of you have heard the horror stories that have been reported numerous times in the past at previous TwitchCons about, like, drink spiking or, like, the lack of security present, stuff like that. It has been something that people...
I'm not tapped into this shit, but really drink spiking and shit? Is TwitchCon just a criminal cesspit? That's just wild.
Have mentioned numerous times, and every time Twitch tries to assure the community that, you know, they're really taking security seriously this time around. This time, you know, it's fucking locked down.
The boy who cried security?
There's going to be no issues, and like clockwork, there's always seemingly some kind of big security concern or something that arises at TwitchCon. It's just... I don't understand how they're not doing anything to, like, remedy it. Even in this, which is, again, supposed to be, like, their big year of security, like, because they made a huge, you know, stance on how strong they're going to be with security this year and how seriously they're taking it, how seriously they're going to take it, and then day one of TwitchCon, Emiru gets assaulted. And then, in this clip, it really seems like there's not a lot of security there. And if there is... like off camera, a bunch of security, they're not very efficacious. They're not very good at stopping a legitimate threat. Like I said, this guy's intentions could have been to murder Emiru here. He could have had a weapon, and he wasn't even stopped. He got all the way to her and assaulted her before he was finally shoved off. Like, there is a real problem.
What do you want it for?
And according to Emiru, it's actually even worse than that on the TwitchCon security side, where they didn't even, like, want to go after the guy until they were forced to by Emiru's team pressing them for it. So not only did the
kind of not surprising at this point to hear details like that
under their watch, where they had ample chances to stop that guy, but none of the handful of security that was around intervened in any way, and then didn't do anything to pursue the criminal. That's a crime. Like, that's a crime, and they were just gonna let him get away with that. It's complete lunacy. Emiru mentions that event staff didn't, like, check on her or anything. What you saw was her team checking on her, and...
Sorry, dog. You just got crimed. We're gonna forget about you.
You know, making sure everything's okay. So, what is TwitchCon, like, where are the event staff and security then? So they don't even check on someone who was just assaulted? They don't even go and see, like, what just happened? Like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Nothing at all? Like, that's crazy. It does not feel like safety is a huge priority at TwitchCon. What happened to Emiru is terrible, and it shouldn't have happened at all. It shouldn't happen to her or anybody attending TwitchCon. Another thing I want to briefly mention here. Apparently Emiru didn't even want to do the meet and greet. She was obligated to in order to keep her show.
So I had to cancel my meet and greet.
What? What? Okay, that's the first I'm hearing about that. She was contractually obligated to do the meet and greet she was assaulted at? That they provided no security for? What?
Because of the stuff, but in order to, I can't cancel my meet and greet and not cancel her show because of the fact that the reason I cancel my meet and greet is I don't want to be in the same place contract with them, so I can't cancel one and not cancel the other.
Interesting. Oh.
So I'm sorry,
I kept my meet and greet because I wanted to keep my show. Surely it'll be fine.
I'm sorry, Emmy.
I'm sure.
That's... She... In the darkest way possible, that's where you insert the, Curb Your Enthusiasm theme.
So I'm sorry,
I kept my
Emmy.
meet and greet because I wanted to keep my show. Surely it'll be
I'm
fine.
sorry, Emmy.
I'm sure everyone will be nice.
It sounds like it was a...
Yeah. Yeah, that's about how I think it plays out. Horrible. Just
contractual obligation that if Emiru wanted to keep that show, she would have to do this meet and greet, which is something it doesn't seem like she wanted to do, but was trying to approach it with optimism about people, you know, being nice and not being weird. Unfortunately, that's just not how things panned out. And it's crazy. She didn't even want to do this meet and greet. It's something that it seems Twitch was requiring her to do in order to keep the other thing that she actually did want, unrelated to the meet and greet. So she decides to oblige and do this meet and greet, and Twitch doesn't even do the bare minimum of giving her adequate security to protect her. Holy shit. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's...
Yeah, yeah, I didn't even see this one, but let's
well, I'm sure you guys are aware of the situation that happened at TwitchCon with Emiru in her meet and greet line, which has been handled quite poorly from Twitch.tv. Nobody cares, mods. Guards!
Valid.
Kill them! She was fucked up. Yeah, so anyway, this is the 10th TwitchCon, I think. I think that's right. I think
10? Has someone been assaulted at all of them? Are they going for the Penta? Or, no, Deca? The Deca?
I think this is the 10th
Deca assaulted.
TwitchCon, and it's actually the 8th TwitchCon that I've been to, which is crazy to say. I was going to them, you know, since 2017 when they were in San Jose. It also is very possible that it'll be the final TwitchCon that I go to. At least, I'm going to add this, the NA TwitchCon. Because I think TwitchCon EU is a...
Yeah, valid. Like I was saying. I think they should probably all stop going.
Much different place to go to. And in the lead up to TwitchCon, go. And they actually announced that they weren't going.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
like formally like I made a big announcement like, hey, we're not going. It got like kind of viral. Like I saw it spread around with most people, I would argue, most people being like, yeah, that makes sense. That's reasonable. And a lot of people also shitting on them. A lot of
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. They got shit on. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. They kind of got shit on for saying they weren't going because of security and safety concerns. And I'm just saying, they were right. And I pre-made my thumbnail for this later. I put a little "they were right" over them.
people being like really fucking mean about it. But yeah, Pokey Ray, Cutie, afraid to attend TwitchCon due to safety concerns. They announced it. I think they talked about it on like Wine About It, just because they didn't feel comfortable going, because Twitch is quite difficult to work with in terms of.
You don't say. Difficult to work with? I don't think we've seen any evidence of that.
Like bringing your own personal security, the security that they provide, the level that you would need for yourself to feel safe going to it. So they said they weren't going. Now, it's already passed, so I can say this. Cutie fucking lied. She tried to fully pull out of TwitchCon. Unfortunately, she had a couple of sponsored deliverables that...
Dang! Everyone getting screwed by contractual obligation, aren't they?
She contractually had to do. So she actually had to go to TwitchCon, but said she wasn't going and went for a much shorter period of time than she was initially going to go. But I still was like, you know what? Fuck it. I've been to 7. Let's go to an 8th. I signed up to do 2 things. So I had like a Twitch Rivals event that I was doing. That was like a GeoGuessr thing with State Farm. And then I am a dude walks up to her now, but for context, I think I'm for a kiss and eventually gets pushed by a security guard, but then fully let go, is able to like run away and like leave the premise. And the security guard that pushed that guy away was also Emmy's own personal security, not the security that TwitchCon hired.
More on the point, like, I don't subscribe to anyone. I think I've talked about this before, but you'll notice I'm not subscribed to Ludwig either. I don't follow like anyone on YouTube. I know that's hypocritical because I want you to follow me. I would really like it if you follow me. But I entirely watch videos based on what pops up right here. I know I'm just I'm a zombie marching in step to the algorithm, but like, it's just how I roll, dog. I'm not that invested in like most creators nowadays, and part of that is because of the era of YouTube I grew up in. Boomer. I used to subscribe to everyone, and people I subscribe to either just stop making content, or this is very sadly common, were outed as pedophiles. The number of YouTubers that were outed as pedophiles is so ridiculously high. And I kept having to unsubscribe from some shit-ass pedos. It's what happened. And I lost the will and energy to subscribe to people. The only people I'm subscribed to at this point that like actually even post videos that I watch are like the Majority Report with Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland.
Don't forget Philip DeFranco.
And yeah, Philip DeFranco. Who have either... Oh my fucking god, my account's probably old enough to vote too. Jesus Christ.
Boomer.
Shut up! I'm not old! Damn. Actually, mine might be 17. Is that right? Because I think my account was made in 2008. I don't think mine's quite that old. But one more year, I think. Ugh.
Creators that they did not feel safe going to their event, to the point where, people are going public saying they don't feel safe to go into their event. Twitch is saying it's going to be good, it's going to be fine, we take security and safely very seriously. It's not those security guards, it's Emmy's security guard. And then the dude, after doing that, just straight up walks away, which is crazy. And then Twitch's immediate response to this is that they gave the guy a 30-day ban.
That everyone that I've watched that reacts to that is like,
E-Rob got for telling a viewer to that he was gonna fucking kill him and beat him in a fight in real life. It's the most laughable punishment. Like, brother, it's not a punishment to be banned on Twitch for 30 days. Okay, can we just call a spade here? Low key, that is probably a healthy thing to have happen to you. 30 days off of Twitch is not a punishment. Who gives a shit?
yeah, I mean, if you're parasocial, a 30-day ban from Twitch is probably the bare minimum psychological assistance you need. If you're operating in such a parasocial environment.
Just permanently ban the guy. Like that, -1 viewer is not really changing the overall statistics. It's a shame that they don't host TwitchCon in Clancyville, because none of it would happen there, because Clancyville's a utopia.
What is Clancyville? What Oh, it's just a joke because the CEO of Twitch is named Dan Clancy. So it's just a joke that nothing bad happens in Clancyville, which would be Twitch. I guess this is I don't know, some North Korea style propaganda meme.
No, it's Avatar.
Clancyville?
No, it's just there's no war in Ba Sing Se.
I googled it, and a subreddit straight up says it's a thing that was started by some guy named Atrioc, referencing Dan Clancy. And that Dan Clancy, I guess, owns a substantial amount of property, and nothing bad happens in Clancy. That's what I was reading. I don't think it's an Avatar reference.
But that was Twitch's initial reaction to that. Went back to her meet and greet line and finished it out. That's Jordan Flu game shit. That's a trooper, bro. That's a warrior. And then, she collected her thoughts and went live the next day to address the
Okay, I didn't know that Emiru finished the meet and greet. That's fucking wild. I would not expect anyone to do. No, it's over. Sorry, folks.
How fucking dogshit Twitch is at doing what they say they're going to do, which is part of the issue, right? It's not like...
Yeah, I mean, they are dog shit.
There was clear warnings from creators to the point where they weren't going to the event because they didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Twitch saying, guys, we're taking it very seriously.
Very seriously. They took it very seriously.
And then them, day one, literally letting an incident occur, because all they are, empty words to satiate the people to come. Because here's the fucking reality. TwitchCon needs creators to go. The only reason you go to TwitchCon is because creators are going to the event. It does not exist without it. That is the whole point of the event, for both viewers and for creators.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Is they should probably just not show up. But then, the point Logan, I think, brought up that I think is probably good is maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care if people don't show up and they get to just have an excuse to not do the con anymore. Yeah, maybe they just don't care.
That's literally the whole fucking thing. Because do you know what you have when you have a TwitchCon without creators? You have fucking G Fuel booth, Gamer Subs booth, Alienware booth. You have fucking Logitech booth. It's 1,000 sponsor booths, and that's it. That's the entire event. And then it would be over now. It's not only imperative for Twitch to...
I don't even... I thought I had a thought, but you know what? Yeah, so maybe Twitch is making some money off of those people paying to attend. Like, they're basically paying Twitch to have the opportunity to advertise. I guess that would be the avenue that Twitch makes money, if they can make money from TwitchCon, would be these booths that probably pay a large amount of money to Twitch to be there to foster some kind of connection to the audience of these creators, because I'd imagine the ticket price is probably breaking even at best.
Listen and make sure the event is comfortable and worth going to for creators. It's the whole fucking point of that bitch. It's literally the only reason it exists. It's in Twitch's best interest to do that. So anyway, the aftermath of it is, I think that night Dan Clancy was seen out and about at a party. They started vague posting, which was a little bit embarrassing. They were like, "We cannot believe the incident that happened."
Vague posting. I haven't heard that. That's a great term, though. I'm definitely stealing that term, vague posting. That does kind of describe what was going on. I didn't hear that Dan Clancy... actually, Emiru had mentioned that there was a rumor that higher-ups, but she didn't mention specifically Dan Clancy in her video. They were just partying. That's definitely not taking the situation seriously.
Wouldn't name Emmy in the incident. The safety and security for all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting.
Yeah, we've heard everyone read that section now.
Insanely fraudulent. And I've known that because I have needed to be at secure areas as a creator. Like, I've needed to be backstage. I've needed to be at a creator partner lounge. And when I'm walking through TwitchCon every year, I have one disguise. I'm a one trick. I do the same thing every year. I put on a hat, I put on a mask, and I walk through the audience of, thousands of fucking...
I bet that works pretty well, actually.
Fans or whatever, and not a single person comes up to me. Now, it's possible it's because I'm washed. But I think the reality is, without my hairdo silhouette, the amount of people who recognize me plummets. And so, no badge, no recognition, literally like this, I'm able to get through secure points. So I know as a fact that other people are too. And it's tough because nowadays there's so many IRL streamers.
So he's just admitting that he doesn't even have to identify himself a lot of the time while incognito, to try and emphasize how poor the security is. That's pretty wild. I mean, every person we watch give any inference into the inner workings of these events. It really seems like there's actually no security. Like, it's like TSA style security theater. They're there to make you imagine something is being done.
There's so many IRL streamers, somebody with a fucking cameraman that follows them with a big ass camera and a big ass light. They just get to walk anywhere they want. It's almost like that, that old meme or that old Yes Theory strategy where they would put on a security vest, a high vis vest, and then they'd walk into any arena. The Twitch...
Oh, we know that shit basically works too. There's I can't remember, there's some YouTuber that I've seen videos from, alls the channel is dedicated to is breaking into events. One of the funnier ones was they broke into some kind of, I don't know, secret service event or something. It was an event for security services or something, which great meme. But they essentially broke in by just having a piece of garbage laminated and just being and walking through.
Version of that is have a guy with a camera following you. If a guy with a camera follows you, you can go anywhere you want. You can go anywhere you fucking want. It doesn't matter. You are basically royalty at TwitchCon because they just assume you're the biggest streamer in the whole fucking world. You're big enough to have a big ass camera and a guy following you around, so you're probably big enough to be here. So their security is quite lackluster. Now, I will say, the day I went is the day after this happened.
That is kind of an extra and funny way to commit crime, though, in an event, though, is I hired a boom operator and a cameraman. They're complicit in the murderous crimes that I will commit. This con will know my wrath, and it was all doable due to my purchasing of 1 day's time of a cameraman and a boom mic operator.
They definitely, you could tell there was a tension in the room. They flipped a switch because the day I went, they clearly had some all hands meeting or some shit. Because I pull up and I had my hat and mask. I had to do a short. I don't know if you guys saw, but I had to do a short showing that my disguise worked. So I wanted to go up to Cinna to take a picture with Cinna and hope that she wouldn't recognize me in the picture. So I see Cinna and she's going through some like back alleyway. It's not roped off from regular people, but it's just a way that you would normally walk. Kind of like what I did with Tyler 1, exactly right. So I run up to Cinna and I go, Cinna, can I have a picture? There's a security guard next to her. I'm not even fucking lying, bro. Security next to Cinna stiff arms me. Not right now, bud. Cinna, upon seeing this, goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I love you. And then walks into some creator-only room. And so 2 things are apparent. 1, she did not recognize that it was me because there's no universe Cinna would be yelling, I love you to me. What is this?
Good job, security guard. Good job, security guard.
The security was told to level their shit up because, you know, God forbid something else happens. But it's annoying that this is the way the world works. Changes are only made after something bad happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, so I guess this tells us that, because this is a more recent video, that they have it bare minimum told security to do just anything at all. Just do anything at all after taking a day off.
You can warn someone that something's bad is going to happen, but until it happens, nobody will make the action to actually do anything. Everything seems retroactive. There's not a lot of proactive.
That specific part is what kind of makes me mad, is the lack of proactive behavior here, since it was literally brought to attention by just like every female creator. It feels like basically every female creator was like, we know it's not okay and we would like concerns to be addressed, and then they were just like, no.
Safety and security that is taken. You know, this is across the board, but it's crazy that even people who should have all the power, okay, creators at TwitchCon, Twitch streamers are fucking useless. We can say this. They are fucking useless. They have very few skills. The one place on earth that they are important, and I can give them this, I can give us this, the one place on earth where important is TwitchCon. I can say this. That's the one place, yeah, we're talking 1 weekend of the year, one place on earth where we are slightly. And I'm saying we with a big stretch. I am not the creator that is running TwitchCon. But Twitch streamer.
Is this dude sponsored by AT&T? Why does that fucking keep popping up?
Are, you know, they should probably be listened to. I don't know what Twitch plans on doing in the wake of this. Twitch's success is very...
Dude sponsored like a fucking like news broadcast is sponsored. Or like a CBS show. You just had the fucking little graphic pop in, like The Simpsons from like 2007.
Distant from their public perception right now, because for all intents and purposes, Twitch is actually doing quite well. Not as much in 2025. I'll come clean, but they were doing quite well in 2024 and the start of this year. Are they? They were. They're actually kind of falling off a bit. They were doing quite well. But also, you know, it's hard to tell because how well was real, how well was bots. But in terms of people who stream, like amount of streamers, watch time, those numbers have increased. But their public perception is that they're worse than they've ever been. Like their public perception is that Twitch is like in the fucking piss water dog shit ass company, you know. And I think Dan Clancy's had a clear strategy ever since being named CEO, where he is personable, has personal relationships with creators, and that will help the image of Twitch.
But does it? I don't like. Okay, I've seen this, and because like I mean I'm a consumer of this content. I watch quite a few streamers. And I've seen Dan Clancy just show up, and I've seen in clips him just like show up and interacting with other creators, and every single time I see one of those, I don't go, wow, Dan Clancy and the CEO class or the C-suite class of executives at Twitch are really down to earth and normal guys. I go, why does this 60-year-old, like, doesn't he have a job to be doing? Shouldn't he be, like, managing or something? I say facetiously because, let's be real, CEOs don't do shit. They're the most useless people on this planet. If we erase them all Thanos snap style, no one would even fucking know for, like, a month. And then everyone would just be like, wow, life's a lot better. I wonder what happened. And then, like, maybe a month after that, everyone would go, oh, all the shitty people are gone.
Because he understands what it is to be a streamer, because he has streamed himself and has done streams with other people. But, you know, more and more, what I think people actually want is just someone who's serious, no nonsense, who gets shit done. I don't think people are yearning for a CEO that is buddy with a creator. I think they're yearning for someone.
Yeah, I don't want that. I not only am not yearning for it, I actively do want the opposite. I think Lud is spot on the instinct there. I do not want the management people for these platforms to be interacting with people on the platform outside of a professional capacity. Now, for transparency's sake, do I think it could be a good idea for a C-suite executive to be interacting with a content creator live to address concerns and questions that a content creator may have about some kind of negative interaction them or their peers have had? Okay, yeah, that could be a positive transparency move. But the only thing I've seen the Clancy guy do is show up and do memes, but like not memes that are funny. They're like Facebook memes that boomers post type of memes. Just be like, oh, we're hip, right?
Who will just fucking make action, get it done, lay down the law, and like do their job. I don't really know what the job of being a CEO is, to be fair. And I've met Dan, and I think Dan's a nice guy. He asked me if I wanted to play pickleball at TwitchCon. I said, no, I don't play pickleball, Dan. I'm white. I'm not that white. But a nice guy isn't always the best option as CEO. Guys, I'm part Chinese. Seriously. We've talked about this. Spiritually, I feel
Okay. Spiritually.
that I must have come from a Tang Dynasty line. So anyway, I will say, I have no measurement on the KPIs, the success that Dan Clancy has had as CEO versus the expectations of Amazon. What I do know is that there was like a partner area where the creators would hang out at the hotel adjacent.
Let me guess, no security?
Pete was at this hotel just chilling with Rob CD and got booted. They were like chilling, I think Saturday night, and they got booted because apparently Dan Clancy was called into a big boy meeting with the big guns at Amazon Saturday night. This was a big enough situation that has rippled up to dad.
Okay, so that's kind of going on our assumption earlier that the shitstorm that this has created is actually rippling upward. So our assumption from earlier is a little correct, that this has gotten enough negative attention that it might be forcing change. And as like you had mentioned earlier, Logan, they don't really care until investors are pissed. It sounds like investors are pissed, so they might have to take it seriously now.
upstairs. I don't know what the fucking conversations were. I'm not privy to that shit, obviously. But at the very least, the story has gotten enough traction that someone with power is asking for answers in, you know, maybe change. Do you think they're upset? I'm not going to like speculate because I genuinely have no idea. I have zero idea, bro.
I am speculating. I was speculating.
It could be a shakeup in damn Clancyville. Twitch is under a lot of dumb hate campaigns, and this is the random shit. Yeah, Twitch is that, you know, you're not wrong. Like, Twitch has a bad reputation, and when you have a bad reputation, people will get mad at you for shit that you didn't even do, right? Like, that happens all the time.
I actually can't remember the last time there was a public outcry that I noticed. Again, normie vision on this. A public outcry that I noticed against Twitch that wasn't valid. I can't remember the last time. Oh, well, okay, no. Very recently, when a certain someone was politically assassinated, I think Congress might have called Twitch in to explain, or has demanded, I don't know if that's happened yet, I checked out of that shit. I think Twitch was demanded to be part of the explanation of other tech groups or other companies like Discord as to how this atmosphere is being fostered on your platforms. And let's be real, Twitch has nothing to do with that as a company or anyone on this platform. Okay, maybe not anyone, but no one that I have not seen any of it.
Then when you do shit that's actually bad, you are definitely going to suffer the consequences, right? You're on a much shorter leash. By the way, I feel very vindicated in certain things. Adpocalypse, I still think that was the dumbest thing of all time. I think that was all quite fake. I don't know anyone whose fucking ad rates were cut. That shit happened a year ago. Everyone was fucking giving me shit for the way I covered it. It was fake. I said it was fake at the time. That people were like, it's not fake. I think it was fucking fake. I think we can say that.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that gets brought up. It feels like it gets brought up every couple years. And I want to say it's just individual people click farming. But I don't know. I don't make money on ads. Because I don't make money.
That now. I think we can fucking say that now. I think one company stopped their contract with Twitch and people were like, it's over, Adpocalypse. It was not... People don't remember.
That's probably a valid interpretation of it. One company equals apocalypse.
Remember what the YouTube adpocalypse was. The rate cuts that creator felt during the YouTube adpocalypse were life-changing. People are like peering at the thousands they make and they're like, maybe I made one less thousand this month. Like, that was the apocalypse. I don't think they're doing bad. Anyway, I thought about
the YouTube adpocalypse, I'm gonna be real, I don't even remember it. Did PewDiePie cause that one? Is that what happened? Was that the bridge thing back in the day? God, like, what was that, 10 years ago or something? Like, yeah, like PewDiePie said a slur on a bridge in a video game, I think, and it got a bunch of attention because at that time he was ungodly big. And now we have creators like Mr. Beast who just make the size of PewDiePie then look so insignificant. But yeah, like, we had a bunch of people talking about it, but I actually don't remember any evidence of the amount of money less that people were making.
And then I thought better of it, you know, like, I set my boundaries before I came to the event of please don't fucking murder me, and you guys all respected that, so thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Low bar.
Our meet and greet line was insane to anyone who showed up. It was scheduled from...
we talking about anything else?
But when I meet 500 to every single person, it was a good experience.
Okay.
I'm able to, like, understand a bit about, you know, you guys, or to be fair, I should have titled it something different. You should watch this before.
Okay, so he's done talking about it. So, yeah, I don't really think I have anything more to add in the commentary, and that was the things we covered were just my initial thoughts to like TLDR. Would be, it's crazy that Twitch did not preemptively make efforts, and if they did, how bad was it before when creators like Valkyrae and Cutie Cinderella raised concerns about their safety and security at these events, not just theirs, but just creators, and especially female creators. Then it happens. The thing that people were afraid of happened after they did nothing to prevent the thing people were afraid of happening. And then it took them like a full 24 hours to even give a shit after they realized, oh shit, people aren't ignoring this one. People are actually mad. Which, thank goodness. Thank goodness people were primed to be receptive to this. I'm saying this is a great propaganda W for like Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrae. Maybe more people talked about, but those are the people that I saw talk about it and really pushing the conversation about that ahead of time. Huge propaganda W for priming the audiences to be more receptive to this. Because as we've learned from these things, these incidents were happening seemingly every fucking year at TwitchCon, and nothing happened, and we didn't get like these big shitstorms that were created with attention. So, thank goodness that people were primed to be bad about this and be more receptive to paying attention to this.